My name is Anniek Verholt. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, I would say, based in Brighton and Athens. My main form of expression is abstract painting. My background is in art therapy as well as art. So I started 25 years ago and I did a degree in art therapy in the Netherlands, where I'm from. I always had an interest in therapeutic use of arts and sort of the social, psychosocial connection between art and community work or psychology. I started a career that was sort of parallel to my arts, and so I developed my arts as well as my art therapy career. I've always kind of felt they were parallel, however they are at the same time sort of connected, and I feel they support and inform each other, so I don't really see them separate. So even with my abstract work or my art, there's a lot of thought behind it and sort of ideas on psychology and the mind, perception. I feel they kind of sort of intertwined. 2003 I came to the UK. I did I got a scholarship to do my MFA in Sunderland, and 2 weeks in I was introduced to a glass department, glass and ceramics, and I had never really thought about working with that material, but I just fell instantly in love with it. It felt like there's all this fire and smoke and sand, all the elements were there, a bit like alchemy, and I decided to incorporate that into my work, and I had to shift my MA, so I did an MA in glass instead. So I started sculpting, a lot of mold making and sculptural work. But I always kind of kept abstract painting on the side, so it always supported my work. Later on, I think glass became a little bit of went to the background and my painting to the foreground, and that's really what I've been focusing on the last years. So this is where we are now as well. So a lot of color work, a lot of attention for color, but also an experience of color that I find really interesting. There is a lot of thought about what can we experience when we look at a painting. Our own stories that we project onto the paintings, the conversations we're having with ourselves, but also with others when it comes to experiencing art. So all of that interests me. Now we're in the Brighton studio, and I am preparing some work for the Artist Open House, and it will be in my new flat in Hove, which is kind of exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking at the same time. That is part of the Brunswick Trail, and hopefully I'll get to see lots of people there. I worked around a theme this year. Some people that have met me last year at my open house, they know I've worked on an interesting project and a collaboration over the past year and a half with the Sussex Centre for Consciousness Science. And it's a neuroscience team who research consciousness, and a topic that I've always been very interested in. And yes, I've been responding to that over the last year and a half. So I did a lot of, we went to the lab, had several experiments there, spoke to the neuroscientists involved, and my work changed accordingly. So it was very expansive, the color palette changed, very bright, lots of color, and it pushed me a little bit out of my comfort zone. And this year I'm looking at a different aspect of the same research, or the same body of work, and it's more about grounding. So my color palette changed a little bit again, and I'm incorporating more brown and a muted palette. So it's again a little different, so I'm hoping it will be comforting, and to me it's comforting. I hope it will be for visitors or those that are coming to the open house as well. And I feel with this topic of grounding, I feel the world needs a bit more grounding, and I'm hoping that will come across. So another part of my work is my therapeutic arts activities. I have a practice in London where I work with people one-to-one. That can be artists, but also individuals that have an interest generally in well-being or in mental health, and they're interested in an approach through art, so the application of art. And it might be that we use art to express something that might feel difficult to put words to. And sometimes it's about relaxation, and it's about a therapeutic approach to supporting the nervous system. I also work with organizations. Most recently, I've just finished a project in a London prison. So I worked with prisoners for about 7 years, and it was a fascinating project. Really interesting for me. Another workshop coming up is with a local organization, charity for women with breast cancer. So that's coming up. And in general, I feel it gives a lot of meaning to my work, and it's very interesting for me to meet people that have an interest as well in healing power of art, I suppose. I look at sort of spaces as well, and sort of color schemes, but also how visuals are used in a public space. And all of that, I think, makes such a difference to our sense of well-being. And one more course coming up, which might be interesting for people that might come to the open houses. I'll be starting some work with adults that have a neurodiversity. We'll be doing some workshops in the studio here, but also out and about, so outdoors. But yes, whoever comes to the open houses, feel free to have a chat with me about that. And otherwise, follow me on my socials, and there will be always some information ready out there.